From the Pep Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. We open with breaking news. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has resigned. President-elect Donald Trump and Tesla CEO Elon Musk have celebrated the news that Justin Trudeau is stepping down as Canadian Prime Minister. Trudeau, who announced his resignation in a Monday morning press conference, has said he is planning to stay in his role as Prime Minister until a new leader is selected. Musk, who is poised to co-lead the newly formed Department of Government Efficiency under Trump, gloated that 2025 was looking good after Trudeau resigned. Meanwhile, Trump used Trudeau's resignation as another opportunity to push for Canada becoming America's 51st state. Many people in Canada love being the 51st state, he said on Truth Social. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. Trudeau described himself as a fighter who hated to back away from a fight at Monday's press conference. But the 53-year-old admitted to reporters that he could not win the next election while fighting internal battles within his own party. Trudeau has led Canada since 2015, but his popularity has waned in recent years over issues such as the high cost of living and rising inflation. In U.S. news from the upcoming inauguration, Apple CEO Tim Cook will personally donate $1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration fund, according to Axios. Cook, who also recently had dinner with the incoming president, has reportedly spent years building a relationship with Trump. During his first term, Cook pioneered a template for how business leaders should engage with Trump, according to the Washington Post. That template includes direct and personal communication with Trump rather than through lobbyists, as well as zeroing in on one data point on a single issue to keep Trump focused during a meeting. The news of Cook's donation follows announcements of donations from both Amazon and Meta, as well as from Sam Altman, the gay CEO of the massively influential artificial intelligence company OpenAI. All three will also give $1 million to the inaugural fund. Like Cook, Altman will reportedly be donating the money from his own personal funds, whereas Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg will be making the donations through their respective companies. Many believe the donations are a sort of olive branch to the incoming administration, an attempt by tech companies to smooth over their once hostile relationships with Donald Trump. In other news, since Donald Trump's reelection, in November, non-traditional gun groups across the city and country have seen a flood of interest. The National Liberal Gun Club said it has received thousands of training requests since the election, more than in all of 2023. A spokesperson for the group estimated that roughly a quarter were from LGBTQ people. In Philadelphia, in the waning weeks of the year, residents peppered local queer Facebook groups with questions about guns and training. The local chapter of the Socialist Rifle Association, a leftist analog to the National Rifle Association, said it saw a surge in paid memberships. Its regular classes about gun safety filled up immediately, so they added more. The head of the Delaware Valley chapter of the Pink Pistols, a longtime gay gun group with the slogan "Armed Gays Don't Get Bashed," said he received a sudden flurry of emails inquiring about gun training. There's definitely a feeling among a lot of LGBT individuals, if I can't protect myself, who will, said Madeline Sherman, a trans woman based in Glen Mills, who runs a casual and growing 2A social group in Pennsylvania. I feel that way myself. In Pennsylvania, overall gun sales were down in 2024, according to figures from the state police. 666,759 firearms were lawfully purchased or privately transferred through the end of October. That's a drop from the 2020 record high of 1.1 million. And finally, we have this news about transgender youth. As U.S. lawmakers debate issues around health care for transgender youth, it's been difficult to determine the number of young people receiving gender-affirming medications, leaving room for exaggerated and false claims. But now a medical journal has published the most reliable estimate yet, and the numbers are low. reflecting more clearly on medical practices now being weighed by the U.S. Supreme Court. Fewer than 1 in 1,000 U.S. adolescents with commercial insurance receive gender-affirming medications, known as puberty blockers or hormones, during a recent 5-year period, according to the study released on Monday. At least 26 states have adopted laws restricting or banning gender-affirming medical care for transgender minors, and most of those states are facing lawsuits. A decision by the Supreme Court in the Tennessee case is expected later this year. President-elect Donald Trump has promised to roll back protections for transgender people. "We are not seeing inappropriate use of this sort of care," said lead author Landon Hughes, a Harvard University public health researcher, "and it's certainly not happening at the rate at which people often think it is." The researchers analyzed a large insurance claims database covering more than 5 million patients ages 8 to 17. Only 926 adolescents with a gender-related diagnosis received puberty blockers from 2018 through 2022. During that time, 1,927 received hormones. The findings, published in the Journal of the American Medical Association Pediatrics, suggest that fewer than 0.1% of all youth in the database received these medications. For more information about these stories or any others that we cover, go to the PEP Radio page of the Pennsylvania Equality Project website, paequality.com. Be sure to download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. That's the news at this hour. Now back to more music here on PEP Radio.